Yo, everybody, back at it once again. Favorite entrepreneur, your boy, official Tyree Samuels. And today we're going to be talking about yet again another Forex setup that we actually took advantage of, and it was on Audcad. So if you guys want to be able to see how I marked it up, how many pips we got, right? Y'all stick tuned for the next clip. I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Yo, everybody, back at it once again. Favorite entrepreneur, your boy, official Tyree Samuels. Now, before we go any further, let me get y'all to go ahead and hit that subscribe button because y'all know the routine, right? YouTube needs to see that y'all follow your boy so that, they realize we're out here giving value. And then right underneath that subscribe button, you're going to see the like. You're also going to see the thumbs up. Let me get you to go ahead and tap into that as well. And if you want to leave a nice comment, feel free. Now, as you guys saw in the thumbnail, right, this is something exciting, right? We actually had a trade that went the distance and hit all of our targets. So we all know in trading, TP1 percentage wise is what's going to get hit the majority of the time. TP2, 3, 4, 5, TP10, TP12 is not a guarantee, right? So whenever we do actually have all of the targets hit, you know that that was a banger, okay? So we're actually going to be going over Audcad longs that we actually took advantage of about 120 pips. And you guys can actually see I still have the markup on my chart. What I've actually started doing is even after I take the trade, I'm going to keep the markup so I can make this video for y'all. And then after the fact, I'll go back and erase it. So the first thing I want to be able to show you guys is here is in my Telegram chat, which you guys already know that you have access to if you simply either go to my Instagram and click the link in the bio, right? Or underneath all of my YouTube videos in the description, you will see my Telegram channel. So the thing I want you guys to be able to understand is I sent out this trade I did, and you would have had access to it on December 7th had you already been plugged into the chat. So make sure moving forward, you get tapped in. So on Audcad, right, I gave you the entry, the stop loss, and all three take profits. The risk to reward overall was about a 1-4, okay? So here's the picture that I provided for you guys so you guys can actually see what it looked like, what I was seeing at the time that I was looking to actually take the executed trade. And we're about to go ahead and dive into it. So for any of you guys that that have actually been getting on my calls consistently, you already know how we like to do. And pretty soon we're actually going to be breaking down this Audcad sell on another video, which is why I have that there as well too. But we're not necessarily going to go into all of that. So let's just focus on the current task at hand. So everybody knows I like to be able to look at my charts on the 1 hour time frame. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the replay tool so that I can actually make sure we are where the setup was actually called at initially. Okay. Oh, no, let me go back a little further. Hold on. So, all right, replay tool. All right, but all right, cool. So the thing I want to actually be able to go over with you guys is let's look at the overall setup. Okay. So the thing I like to be able to focus on is what is the overall current trend of the market? I think it's safe to say, okay, I think it's safe to say the overall trend is bearish, right? Absolutely bearish. So the thing that I want to be able to focus on is, okay, just because it's bearish doesn't mean we necessarily have to take a sell, even though it's probably going to make the most sense statistically speaking, trading with the trend is your friend. But, we can also take advantage of reversals. So actually in this opportunity, a reversal is exactly what we were looking to take advantage of. And that's what we're about to go over. So if you guys notice, right, the market continues to make lows and it continues to break structure. So this high was set. Okay. This low was set. Right. Then we created a lower high. Okay. Then we created a lower low. So we can see, just from how the market is vibing, how the market is moving, this market is clearly trending down. I didn't even have to show you that example for you to see it. It's going down, right? The peak was at about September 9th. You can come all the way back over here, July 19th. So literally since July 19th of this year, this market has overall been extremely bearish, okay? So the thing I wanted to be able to focus on is, kind of looking at what opportunity I was going to take. So the first thing I started paying attention to is going to be my indicators. Okay. So the thing that I usually tell you guys is you want to be able to focus on, indicators that are going to allow you to see when momentum is weakening, when momentum is maybe about to shift, when the trend is maybe about to be over. Okay. So I use, a couple of different indicators. I use the RSI, I also use the TDI. The RSI is a lot easier to explain. So that's what we're going to focus on. So initially, whenever I look at setups, one of the primary factors is going to be two different things: divergence and the extremes, okay? Or you can say the market showing weakened momentum in that direction. The way that I'm able to utilize that is, if you guys look at the RSI, right? This purple box that you see up in here with this white line, anytime the white line goes outside of the purple box, in my opinion, it possibly could be getting ready to be on and popping, okay? What do I mean by that? So if the market has been trending down, 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 and a white line goes outside of the box on the downside, that means the downward momentum is becoming weak, okay? And that might give you an instance to where you might be like, okay, you know what? The momentum is getting weak. Maybe I can start looking for an opportunity to take a long opportunity. But you have to remember, if this is an overall bearish trend, are you going to swing trade this? Are you going to day trade this? Are you going to scalp this? You have to know in relative perspective, because you can mess around and hold it too long and it just pulls all the way back on you. So I was able to actually look at this. And then from looking at this is how I was able to, kind of start seeing things a little bit differently. So whenever I saw that the extremes had been hit, right, the very next thing that I wanted to do was this. So on this 1 hour time frame, we can actually see, my favorite candle formation, which is going to be the engulfing candle. So we can actually see this engulfing candle set its footprint at the bottom, and you can see how the market never came back and violated this low. So at this point, we know that this market is moving up. So now you can see the market is basically giving you like I call them like a stepping stool, okay? Each one of these is higher than the next. So this is actually showing you trend-wise, right? The market is looking to continue going higher. And it was all created by this initial engulfing candle that the market rejected off of before it continued to move higher. So with me understanding that information, right, is pretty straightforward for me. Like, my trading style is pretty simple. I'm going to understand the overall trend. I'm going to determine, am I trading with the trend? Am I trading against the trend? Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my RSI or TDI. I usually like to be able to see that the extremes have been hit. I also like to see divergence, even though I'm not guaranteed to get divergence in every example, but it is a guarantee. I need to see the extreme to be hit. And then finally, I just need to look for an opportunity to get into the trade, assuming that there is one. How do I find an opportunity to get into the trade? The way that I do it is I like to be able to look for an engulfing and or institutional candle, the biggest one on the highest time frame. And then obviously I just need to make sure that it's the right time of day and the right session to be trading in the first place. Because we all know if you're not trading in the right time of day, the whole setup can be invalidated. So all I'm going to simply do is I like to be able to work my way through these time frames. So you're never going to see me call out a setup on a time frame. No, I take that back. I'm not going to say never. It is going to be rare that you see me call out a setup on a time frame lower than the 1 hour. Okay. So I usually start from the 1 hour and I start working my way up. So what we want to identify is we want to identify engulfing or institutional candles within this range that we currently see the market. So if I go to the 2 hour, you can see we have a candle here, right? If I go to the 3 hour, you can see we have a candle a little bit lower, right? But like I said, we want to find the biggest one on the highest time frame. So we had this one right here, right? This 6 hour one. But as you see, this one would have been violated, right? This one would have been violated. We got the 7, right? 7 hour. And instead of just sitting here scrolling through all these, we just go ahead and skip to the one I ended up concluding with. So the one I ended up concluding with was going to be the 9 hour, okay? So this 9 hour candle is actually what I ended up coming to. And I was like, you know what? I really like this. Now I'm gonna tell you why I like this. One thing that I want you guys to be able to understand when you're looking at engulfing candles, obviously it's not a one size fits all. There are different kind of engulfing candles and they do not all look the same. The concept of one candle engulfing the body of another one is the same, but the way that they look is different. Now, the thing I want you guys to start understanding and start seeing, and maybe you'll start paying attention to it more so that I'm bringing it to your attention, is anytime you have an engulfing candle that does not have a wick on the candle, right? Or very little wick. This one literally has no wick on the candle. By far, these are going to be the best engulfing candles to possibly take. It doesn't mean it's a guaranteed win. It doesn't mean anytime you see one, just randomly get in the trade. It just means assuming everything else falls in place with your confirmations, this is usually going to result in some type of profitable setup from my personal experience. An engulfing candle with little to no wick on it, which is rare, is going to give you some of the best opportunities that you're going to find in the market. Okay. So the way that I like to be able to look for entries is going to be pretty straightforward. The first thing I like to do is I like to be able to get the 50% of the candle. Why? The 50% of the candle is going to act as an equilibrium or the sensitive spot. So a lot of times this is going to give you the best risk to reward, the best smallest stop loss, and the highest pip gain. So I like to put this here so I can kind of see relatively, opportunities of how deep of a retracement I could be looking for in order to take the market in that given direction. Now, for me, what I wanted to be able to do is I needed to be able to find this market, create a top of some sort, right? I needed this market to create a top of some sort so I could look for a entry. Now, the one thing that I did was I did put my entry a little high because we could have actually gotten a better entry than what I did. So what I forgot to do, because I was actually moving a little too fast on the setup, usually what I'll do is once I find my engulfing candle, I'm then going to also take the other type of fib from the low to the high. And then I would like to see my entry be somewhere in the retracement of the fib zone. So notice how my entry is up here, whenever honestly it should have been somewhere in here. And it doesn't seem like a big difference, but when it comes to risk to reward, this could have taken you from a 1 to 1 to a 1 to 2. It could have taken you from a 1 to 1.5 to a 1 to 3.5. Okay. That makes a really big difference in when you come into making money. Okay. So this is an example of a trade I can look back at and say, maybe I didn't get the best entry, but we did get an entry and we did hit all of our targets. So it's not like I'm mad or feel any type of way about it, but it's just something to think about. So this is overall how I'm going to actually be able to look for my opportunities. And as you can see, this is what it looked like at the time it would have pulled back into this candle. And then as I allow it to play out, you guys will see it didn't. Now, when I say it didn't take too long, these are all 9-hour candles. So to technically say it didn't take that long, it's not accurate, but the amount of candles it took from entry wasn't that many. Okay. So all in all, this is basically what I was able to do to execute that trade on Audcad. You guys saw that you had access to it, assuming you were in my signals chat previously. But don't worry, because if you were not in my signals chat previously, you still have the opportunity to get in now, which I recommend that you do. So you can actually go to the description of this YouTube video, click where it says free Telegram chat, and then you'll be in there like swimwear. Now, with that being said, if you guys were able to come to this video, you learned something, you appreciate it, you're going to share it with the world, let me get y'all to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because the subscribe button is something that makes my day. It's going to make your day too, because the last thing you want is your homeboy calling you like, yo, bro, did you see Tyree's new video? You could be like, oh man, I didn't see it. You want to know why you didn't see it? Because you're not subscribed to my channel. Now, the next thing I would appreciate is if you look underneath that subscribe button, you go ahead and hit that thumbs up, you hit the like button. And finally, you guys know the motto. I'm going to see you at the top, not from the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. See you won't want to be. Peace.